Hi everyone, my name is Nicola. I am simply a stitcher. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, it's great to have you, and if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming and spending a little bit more time with me today. So today we're going to do Stitch With Me, and as ever for this video, it is a new start. So this week on my wheel spin, which I got to do myself for a change, it picked something that I know a number of people have been waiting for. This beauty is Cosmic Marbles. Its artwork is by Aimee Stewart and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It's regular size, regular colour, I believe. I'm just going to double check. Yes, regular size, regular colour. So it contains 90 colours. And yeah, we're going to have a brand new start. I've opted to stitch this one on some 25 count even weave, and I'll be working 1/1 full cross. I've put on some grid lines because this is non-gridded fabric, and as ever I have been using my friction pen, and as you guys know if you've been watching me in the past, I only ever use this pen on full coverage projects. I never use it on non-full coverage, and I certainly do not use it on hand-dyed. As always, if you are looking for something to grid fabric with, please do your research. You know, what works for me may not work for you, and the last thing that I'd want is for you to use this pen and be unhappy with the result. But yeah, it works for me, and it just sort of added on, you know, some lines today. Cosmic Marbles is a go. We're going to have lots of greens in this morning. Oh, I hear a Hannah coming down the stairs. We're going to have lots of greens in this. Let's have a look. Parking upper right. Good morning, Hannah.
I am freezing cold.
Yes.
And my nail hurts. Not even my finger at this point.
Can you just pull that thing just a little bit that way? Just try and pull it. Because it's probably just putting pressure on it.
It is. It's killing.
That better? Okay. So Hannah had a wee incident at the dog kennels yesterday. She's got a poorly finger.
Off on tonight's live. If anyone interested, don't worry, it's not a go.
Yeah, she's had a wee happening at the dog rescue. Yeah, so lots of green is going to be in this one. Ooh. Excuse me, I'm shattered. It's been quite a busy week at work again, and I know I keep sort of saying that just lately, and I don't wish to go on about it, but there we go. It is what it is. Right, okay. Zoomed in. Let's get a cracking, and I have a lot of comments to go through. So we're going to look at those as well today and see how we get on with what you guys have been saying. And we'll go right up to the comments on the most recent Flosstube, which was released on the 18th.
Not
yes.
To be a pain, but how long do your Flosstubes usually take?
About an hour and a half. Why?
Maybe I do it for work. I can't really do it with my finger because I don't want to catch it.
I can pause if need be. Yeah, so yeah, Hannah's had a bit of an incident with her finger, so it's making things like doing her hair difficult. So we may just have a brief pause during this video. Do everything you can, Hannah, and then I'll tie it up for you. Okay. So yeah, Cosmic Marbles was the winning spin. My model stitch is done, thank the heavens. Is it finished now? Yes, Hannah, it's been posted back. I'll show you in a bit. So yeah, the model stitch was finished, so it means that I can carry on with my stitching now. until the next one comes along, of course. They wanted it back by the 24th, and it was sent back yesterday, the 18th, so definitely in good time. But yeah, it was a really nice one. It was very cute. Obviously, I can't share any details of it, but they are a nice, because they're non-full coverage, they are a nice break from doing my full coverage. It's almost like refreshing, if that makes sense. But yeah, I released a Flosstube yesterday on the 18th where this piece was picked, and there were lots of comments next week about it. So yeah, we're gonna see those. So what's been happening comments wise this week? We're going to start with our Flosstube number 6, where I show She Sleeps in all her finished glory. I still have to get it off to the framers. I've got to try and pin Andy down to a time when he can take me over there, because I'm not going to risk it in the post. Patsy is the first comment. She says, I absolutely love She Sleeps. I can't get over how much detail in her, and I can't wait to see her framed. She will be outstanding. She certainly will, Patsy. I can't wait either to get her framed. It's like I said, it's just a case of pinning Andy down. When am I going to get that time to whiz her over to Lisa for her to start that process? I do kind of want to get it done sooner rather than later, but it is, essentially it's going to be when my time allows. I might have to try and book in a day off work or something. Then Sonia says also congratulations on She Sleeps finish. And as you guys will remember as well, it was finished in the live stream, so everybody could share in a finish. I love doing that. It means that you all sort of get to share in that and share the joy in it. It really is lovely to get a finish in, especially on these pieces which can be rather large. So let's make it so that it's a community thing. Karen Needlebug has done it a couple of times as finished projects on live streams, and I do think it's just a lovely way of sharing a finish with the community. Flosstube community is, as always, has been very, very supportive, and I'm just absolutely loving doing what I do on here. Yeah. Okay. MVC comments in relation to the new start that I had last week, which was Lesley McKenzie's Summer Sun. And she says, I love the colours of Summer Sun. Yeah, I think that they look sort of 1930s, 40s Art Deco style. In a way, there's like an Art Deco vibe to that piece, which I really love. And all the lots of sort of oranges and golds and things that I'm starting on at the minute, it's going to be superb when it's done. Jenny Crochet Zone says congratulations on She Sleeps finish. She is stunning. Thank you very much. And then our lovely Karen, just, you know, as if by magic, because we were talking about her. Congratulations on She Sleeps. She's absolutely gorgeous. Outstanding work as usual. Oh, my shoulder just gave a right crack. Yeah. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing it framed. Jane comments on my video. One of the first things I was talking about was how Andy the Crow Stitcher had mentioned on her video that, you know, some people had been unkind in the stitching community, and there is no place for that. We are to support and uplift each other. You know, you never know the battles that somebody faces behind closed doors, and stitching for them may be a form of escapism. I know it has been for me. Jane says, I'm sorry to hear that a person has been unkind. I've purchased my first HAED once upon a time. Now kitting it up. It will take a month or 3 because I followed your advice and got the max colour. Bless you, Hannah. I'm blaming you for this purchase in a nice way because you prompted me to try this. She Sleeps is looking gorgeous after her bath. Looking forward to seeing her as an FFO, and well done with the weight loss. Thank you very much, Jane. I will happily take the blame. You know, I am a bit of an enabler. Obviously, we have Sew and Tell on our Wednesday streams, and you know, where we share projects that other people in the group have been doing. You know, lots of people get enabled by that. And yeah, I mean, max colour is always dependent on the design. The greater, for me, the greater detail in She Sleeps came out because of the max colour. I certainly love the way that the flowers, the thorns, the berries, they all kind of stick out, really, I suppose, under the max colour, which is terrific. Okay, Enid gives me a wave. Thank you, Enid. And Linda from Linda Loves to Stitch. Just going to pop on another grid here. Says, that is bright and sunny. You should enjoy stitching that during these drab winter months, I would think. Yeah, absolutely. Completely. I'll enjoy stitching it during the drab times. It's very nice to have a piece with uplifting colours, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's put in the 4th one as well. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I have taken the drugs.
Okay. Kay, Sussex Stitcher. My next focus for a finish is now pandemic. And Kay comments to say, oh, that pandemic is lush. I am using 2 colours for pandemic. I'm using 154 and 310. So 154 is the main colour. And then for any what I call the living, breathing creatures and So any animals, birds, insects and people, they are being done in 310 to highlight them just a little bit more in the pattern. And there is also a border in black as well. It's quite nice to sit and work on it. We can get in stitches and, you know, get lots of little finishes in these motifs, which is really lovely. And yeah, I've been sort of pressing on with that since I finished my model stitch. Hopefully, I mean, it may be finished this month. It may be early part of April. No, what's the next month? March. That's it. You can tell what kind of a week it's been. I'm already jumping ahead. May, because currently at the rate that I'm stitching on Pandemic, Stitch Pal estimates it'll be finished in May. Patricia says congratulations on She Sleeps finish. Beautiful stitching. Thank you, Patricia. Yep, I very much enjoyed. She Sleeps was a difficult journey at the start. I didn't really get into it, but the more I did and the more I focused on getting her done, oh my goodness, definitely ramped it up and got that there finishing. Oh, I've done that wrong. Okay, and Tine Stitching Baps, congrats on that beautiful finish. Thank you very much. Yeah.
It's a nice one, that one.
Thank you, Hannah. I'm just going through the comments on my Flosstube where I showed it as a finish when it was all washed and stuff. She Sleeps is absolutely stunning. Well done on a great finish. Looking forward to your new start. It's been so great and wet here over the last few days. We could do with seeing the sun, even if it's only a stitching one. Yep, absolutely, Sharon. Couldn't agree more. Our lovely Sharon Fennell there. It is nice and uplifting to have a lovely bright colour on your needle. It really is. But like I said, when I was stitching on that one, and I was talking about my mum, it was ironic that I was stitching in the colour orange. My mother disliked the colour orange. She always used to say, the colour orange, it makes me bad-tempered. She was funny, my mum. Oh, I need to message Gail today, Hannah. Remind me later if I haven't already done so.
Gail's in your anti Gail?
Yes, it's in your anti Gail.
Oh, it come up today.
Lynette says, congratulations. She is stunning, Nicola. Fantastic effort. Obviously also referring to She Sleeps. Thank you, Lynette. It is lovely to have a finish on the pile for this year. May there be many more. I still can't get over quite just how many new starts I've still got to go. I've still got quite a lot on the wheel. I've still got 9 left, I think. I think it's 9. Lots of them are GeckoRouges. Hannah is desperate for the unicorn to be called, aren't you, Hannah? Come on. She Sleeps looks wonderful, says ViFFX. Will you not add any grids to the Lord of the Rings one? Will you not accidentally miscount and mistake? I think I'm all right on that one for now. But of course, you know, there's always the option to add on a grid if I feel the need. If it starts to become out of control a little bit, then yeah, I'll pop a grid on it. But you know, I'm going to see how I get on without one. But you know, it doesn't mean just because there isn't one that there's never going to be the option of one, because if need be, I will pop one on. I figured this one definitely could do with a grid. But yeah, we'll look at that for the Lord of the Rings one in due course if required. But you know, you guys who've been watching me for a while know that I do like a challenge. But absolutely, you're quite correct. There is a possibility of miscount and making a mistake, which I really don't want to do. So you know, if in time, the sensible thing will be to put a grid on, and a grid it shall have. Jodie, our lovely Jodie Walker, says, really enjoyed the visit, Nicola, and you're seeing your awesome progress and your beautiful whips. And congratulations again for your stunning finish. I never get tired of seeing her. Have a great week and happy stitching. Thank you, Jodie. Yeah. Yeah, She Sleeps. Yeah, I love it. I know I keep bashing on about it, but you know, it is currently my pride and joy. So, okay, first thread over. Cassie Brown leaves me a heart. Thank you very much, Cassie. Let's have a look at this colour. 911. And then Laura loves the new start. 1400 is a great start. So that was referring to the Lord of the Rings, the one to rule them all. And she says further, she sleeps. You know, the teeth is just awesome. Well done. Thank you very much indeed, Laura. Okay. And Victoria Howarth, just moved the stand just a wee touch there. Such lovely work. I really enjoyed this. We'll never tire of seeing your pieces. Yeah, I think my project mix is a nice mix of different projects now. It's got, you know, all sorts of flavour really. It's got landscape and modern and traditional, and it'll have myth and magic. It'll have, you know, not myth and magic. It's got people. It's got, you know, all sorts of different things, which is lovely. And you know, there's every piece offers for me something different. And then Tracy Albert leaves me some hearts, as does Laska UA Itch to Stitch. I'm so sorry, I can't remember your name. And then Diane Miller says, congratulations on finishing She Sleeps. She is my absolute favourite. And you did a fantastic job with the stitching. She's beautiful. Thank you very much, Diane. Yeah. I don't think, if I was still stitching that now, I think people would still not tire of her. Envy's coming along a treat as well. You know, it's definitely getting there. with envy. You know, I can see the bottom, and you know, every time I pick her up, adding in 1,000 stitches gets me ever closer to the bottom of this second section that I'm working on her. Because I just love to be able to sit here and stitch all day, every day, and not have to worry about work and all the rest of it, but I haven't won the lottery yet.
You know, bought a ticket, haven't you?
Well, that's the problem, Hannah. I've got to actually, you know, buy a ticket. It's like the old joke, isn't it? Every day, a man prays and he says, "Dear God, please, please, let me win the lottery. Please, please let me prove to you that all the money will not make me a bad person. I just want a comfortable life." And every single day he says the same prayer. And then one day, after many months of this, God appears to him and says, "My son, I would happily help to answer your prayer, but you need to buy a ticket." Andrew Smith 2591, no relation to our Andy, says, "Nicola, you're so brave not to grid your fabric. Nice work though, Smithy." Thank you very much. As I said earlier, there will be the option to grid it if required, but as it stands at the moment, it doesn't need. You know, it might just get a grid in the sections where there's lots of colour changes and stuff. So yeah, thank you very much. And then Andreas Scott and Andy CH, really sorry, it's a very long username, says, "Congrats on the finish. Thank you very much." And then Nicola, who is Nicola McKay, says, "Congratulations on finishing She Sleeps. It looks fantastic and I can't wait to see her framed. Just last week I finished a GeckoRouge project by Lesley D McKenzie called Imminence, and it's at the framers right now. Fun fact, Lesley is local to me, artist from Aberdeen in Scotland, and who has a framing shop stroke art gallery about a 10 to 15 minutes drive from my house, and she is the one who's framing it. That is awesome. The original painting is hanging up in the shop, so when I go to collect it, I'll get a photo of the cross-stitch piece next to the painting. Happy stitching, and as always, look forward to your next update. Thank you, Nicola. That is awesome. How fabulous is that? That, you know, you can, Lesley, who did the artwork, can also frame your stitching. It's wonderful.
I am so glad that my gloves haven't got individual finger holes. Because right now it's coming in handy.
Yeah, off you go and get ready for work. And then when you've brushed your hair and you're ready for it to be tied back, come down and I'll do it for you. Mrs. C Stitches, thank you so much for the shout out. No problem at all. And if you are not watching or seen Mrs. C Stitches channel, do go and take a look. And she says, "Congratulations on She Sleeps. She's gorgeous. Loving all your projects as always, and your new start is gorgeous." Yeah. It'll be even more gorgeous when we've got some stitchy miles in it. Oh, that's a silly thing to do. Hold on a sec. Sorry, just bear with me. I've just lost my place in the comments because I'm a numpty. Lorraine Boslam says, oh great, on my one to rule them all. She says, oh great, this is just the chart I've been looking for, so off I went to Tilton and now it's in my pattern keeper. Happy to be of service, and will take the fall for enabling. I'll take the blame. But yeah, I love that one to rule them all. It's a wonderful chart. So nice to see how your family life blends in with your stitching life. Everyone is so interested and supportive, says our Joyce, our Stitchy Dutchy. Yes, I am very lucky. I mean, you know, you just heard Hannah sort of nattering away about she sleeps and that. So, you know, very often they'll come up and have a look at what I'm stitching. You know, they're quite interested in the model stitching as well. And they'll come across and they'll stand over the thing and I go, what? And they'll go, looking at your stitching. Or they'll go, ooh. So yeah, the girls are sort of quite interested, which is lovely. It's nice to see. But of course, Hannah, you know, with the diamond painting, she will happily diamond paint away. Congratulations on the finish, says Katinka. Beautiful work. Thank you very much, Katinka. And then Felice says you have such a beautiful finish. Well done. Also wanted to congratulate you on being so close to your weight loss goal. Lot of accomplishment. Yeah. I have 3 pounds to go. It was 2.5, but I think is it 3 or is it 3.5? 3.5, I think. I put a little touch back on, put half back on this week, so it might be 3.5. 3 or 3.5, one or the other. But hopefully that'll be fairly soon, and then we can start with the maintenance phase, which will be fun. Maintenance phase certainly will be interesting. You know, then sort of learning to keep it off. Are you all done?
Yep.
Okay, and just pause for 2 minutes. What am I doing with that?
Plaiting it if you don't mind.
Just plait it down the back?
Yeah, it keeps it out that way. They don't get tangled. Let it mean I can leave it until tomorrow.
Cool. Just a wee pause, guys. I'll be back. I'm back. So, okay, the hair is now done. It's just needed a quick plait. Just sort of braided it down the back. And she's now all sorted. Where were we? Live stream last Wednesday. So not Wednesday, just gone as you're watching this video, the one before. Andy created a jingle for Sew and Tell. And he got a few compliments in the comments. First one from Karen, saying great video and song. And then Alaska also leaves me another heart. So thank you very, very much. Then Linda, who is Linda Fabrizio. I mentioned on that stream that one of our Flosstubers, Crafty Emily, is having a bit of a rough time at the moment. Her husband, or husband-to-be, has been unwell. And Linda says, I feel so bad for Emily. Life can change in a minute. Absolutely it can. And Emily, I have no idea if you watch my videos, but if you do, I am sending you all my love and best wishes. And if there's anything at all that the stitching community can do, let us know. We're all happy to help. Okay, just grab a drink. Okay. So Katie says, oh dang, I missed this live. I have to figure out the time difference between USA, CA, presumably California, where you are. I believe it's UK, England, so I can get on it. Love your stitching and conversation. So on my lives, I do them at 7:30 p.m. UK time on Sundays and Wednesdays. And currently, you will need to Google as to what the current UK time is. GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, because we're in winter time at the moment, so our clocks went back in November. So if you just have a Google, the current UK time, GMT, then Google will have the answer for you, and hopefully you'll be able to jump on live streams. Hope that helps. Unfortunately, I can't schedule videos because YouTube messes with the settings on my phone when I schedule video. Although I may just try it again and see if I can do it again. It was one of them things. It did it, then it didn't, then it did it, then it didn't. So I just stopped scheduling them. What happens is the video orientation needs to be landscape, and what happens is that when I go back in to start my scheduled stream, it turns the orientation to portrait, which is no good. So if I can get that resolved, happy days, we will start and do scheduling again. Or if YouTube has, got its act together over the last few months, because I'm pretty sure that, lots of you would like me to do that, but, it's just simply because of a YouTube issue. So I can't do that. My next question is a newbie question. She says, it's Wendy's Stitching, says, I'm sure you've answered this about 1 million times, but a newbie here, does Andy or either of the daughters like to stitch? So I have 3 daughters, one of which doesn't live at home. The one that doesn't live at home can knit, can crochet, and can cross stitch. Hannah is a diamond painter. She has had a little go at knitting. Don't think she got on with it very well. She can also, Hannah does sort of freestyle embroidery when she's the mind. And she certainly did a lot of that while she was at school. And Lauren is just enthusiastic to try. Lauren doesn't particularly do any of them, but given the opportunity of a needle and thread and a bit of fabric, she'll have a go and see what she can do and come to me about 1 million times to get the needle rethreaded. So they're all a bit different. Lauren is more sort of dramatic arts inclined. She's doing like drama and stuff at school. Hannah is more structure and order of something like diamond painting, doing it row by row, and doesn't have the patience for stitching. And the middle child, the one who doesn't live at home, Victoria, she's definitely the creative one of the 3. In terms of Andy, he doesn't stitch, but he has stitched. He has stitched in the past. He has done a couple of pieces as gifts for people. But, you know, he says he's not a stitcher, but he can. He knows how. And obviously he understands stitching, the terminology, the techniques and all the rest of it, because he sits and watches me and he listens to me talk. And of course he gets heavily involved in live streams and so on as well. So Andy, oh, excuse me, he's kind of both a stitcher and a non-stitcher. I think he would like to probably describe himself as a stitcher by proxy. But yeah, he can, but he does underestimate. Oh, he does underestimate his ability. No, I was right. Okay. Linda loves to stitch on Night Cafe Stitch. No, Night Orange. Stitch with me says hello. As does Alaska, leaves me a heart. Then our lovely Sandy, who is thankfully on the mend, which I'm really, really happy about, stitching away again. Sandy says, Middle Earth map is looking great. She Sleeps is fabulous. So many tuning in to see you finish was brilliant too. Thanks for sharing. Take care. Happy stitching. Yeah, at one point on the live stream for She Sleeps on a Wednesday, there were 127 people tuned in to see She Sleeps finished, which was absolutely unprecedented. And I was just bowled over by the amount of people that had just popped in just to see She Sleeps get her last 400 stitches. It's absolutely heartening. You know, whether I'll reach those dizzy heights again, who knows? But yeah, I regularly get upwards of 80 people watching live streams, which is phenomenal. And you know, it's really nice to have the engagement from everybody as well in the chat and via Sew and Tell. Just gonna up the brightness a wee bit. You can see there we've got 2 or 3 different shades now. Okay. Karen Ennis leaves me some hearts, and then a few days ago, Nina from Nina Hobby Site left a comment again on my Flosstube number 6 and says, I don't understand why people are unkind. Absolutely, I'm the same. There are no rules in stitching except the ones that you make yourself. Thank you to Karen the Needlebook for that one. And, you know, just because somebody doesn't stitch in your way, it doesn't make it the wrong way. And I think people do forget that. I stitch in a different way, you know, to Gemma, to Karen, to Emily, to Nina, to Tina. I stitch in a different way to everybody. You know, no 2 stitches are the same. I would not dream, you know, of being ugly to somebody about, you know, the way that they choose to enjoy their hobby. It's, at end of day, it's a hobby. It's not a job. You know, none of us who stitch and do Flosstube make a living out of it. It just doesn't happen. It's a hobby. It's not a job. And the same with any hobby. There's the one reason that you do it is because it makes you happy. And, you know, I've got a few people in my group, or 1 or 2 people in my group, who are definitely stitching beginners. And I wouldn't dream of saying, your stitching is awful, your stitching doesn't look right. What I would say is, if you want to make it look a bit better, a bit smoother or something like that, I wouldn't dream of just being ugly to somebody about it. It just doesn't sit well with me. Rant over. Where's my friction pen? There we go. I need to pop on another line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, lost count there. 1, 2, 3. We're going to the next square. Half Christo. I think it's a Polish name. I'm so sorry. I don't even want to try because I'll butcher it. Leaves me a heart. And then Salita says, hi Nicola, happy belated Valentine's to you and the family. Love from northeastern Oregon. Thank you very much indeed, Salita. Much appreciated, and happy Valentine's to you and yours too. And I hope that everybody here who celebrated Valentine's in whichever format had a wonderful day. I asked Andy what he wanted. He says, I could do with a new jumper. So that's what he got. And then I always said to him, do not ever, ever buy Valentine's gift, flowers, roses, and that kind of thing on Valentine's Day. Always get them after, because I don't believe in paying inflated prices for one day. I can tell Andy 365 days a year that I love him, and him me. So I bought him said jumper, and the following day, the 15th, he went out with his kids to the supermarket because they were over here that weekend, and he came home with some Freddos, and that suited me just fine. Andy knows I like what I like, and Freddos ticked that box for me, so that's what he did. Perfect Valentine's. A Freddo and Snuggles. That's all we needed. Him in his new jumper, me eating a Freddo. I've always been fairly unmaterialistic. The only thing that I really sort of gather and collect in any way, shape or form is cross-stitching stuff. But no, I don't yearn for jewellery or for possessions, designer clothes and handbags and shoes and stuff. None of that bothers me, doesn't interest me. Simple stuff in life, it suits me just fine and dandy. Of course, this comment was on my new start video, which was released on the 15th, and Celia leaves me a heart, as does Enid. Brittany Schultz says on that video that today is her birthday. Many happy returns to you, Brittany. I hope you had a wonderful day. And she says she also had a new start, Aimee Stewart's museum shelf, which is an awesome piece, and I really do hope that you enjoy every single stitch. Okay, Katie says, thank you for your stream this morning. I'm so under the weather today and your voice is so calming. I particularly love how you bring the camera so close to the stitching so you can actually see the stitches that you put in. Yeah, it's much easier to do that on these pre-recorded Stitch With Me's, because with the live we get the focus in and out stuff going on. So yeah, it is easy to do it on these Stitch With Me's. But yeah, awesome. Thank you very much indeed, Katie. And yeah, I've heard it before that my voice has that sort of calming effect, which is really nice. But trust me, you wouldn't like to hear it. when I'm under any sort of stress or upset or angry, it's completely different. So there we go. Mona says, I love the new start. And Tracy Albert leaves me some heart emojis. So thank you, ladies, both of you. Let me just mark these off. I've done those ones. And that. Yep. Cool. Let's get that stitching done. It's a nice big block. I'm going to do some filling in. I was talking on my Stitch With Me with my new start about my mum and my mum's passing. So I'm going to talk about some of the comments I've received on that now as well. And it may continue in the next couple of Chatty Stitch With Me. So I do apologise if you are easily triggered. Do feel free to skip ahead. Cindy says, my mum passed 1 year ago on February 6th. She's talking to me 1 minute, the next minute she was gone. She was in the hospital and taken a turn for the worse. She passed right in front of me. It was so hard to go through. Then my dad passed 3 months later in May. I hated 2024. Not a day goes by that I don't see that day like a movie in my mind, playing over and over. Stitching helps, so stitch on. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you for opening up about that. That must have been tremendously difficult. And I know somewhat how you're feeling because my mum and dad passed within 5 months of one another. It does replay in your head, although I have worked very hard to put my mum actually passing to the back of my mind because it's not an image I need to see every day. I fully understand where you're coming from. And February the 6th was my mother's birthday. So, we do have something in common there. But February 6th is a meaningful date for both of us. I am very sorry for your losses. And the movie will carry on playing. The movie image will probably get less bright, less vivid over time. But it will always be there until you're able to move it so that it doesn't interfere so much and so hard in your everyday life, if that makes sense. Thank you for sharing about your mom, says Mal. I always appreciate how honest and real you are. It helps us all to know we all experience hard moments in life and we're never alone. Yep, you're never alone. I'm one of those people that I have people email me or send me messages through Facebook and chat away. Sometimes it's just so that they can get it off their chest and I don't need to answer. And sometimes it's because somebody needs that little chat. And it's nice to be able to do that. I can't do it all the time, but it's nice to be able to do that for people. But talking helps, stitching helps. There's lots of coping mechanisms out there. It's just choosing the right one for you. So on Lesley McKenzie's new start, Rivers Love, Shelley says, that's such a pretty colour to start with. I love watching you stitch. Of course, that is all of these lovely bright colours. This is Summer Sun. Lots of oranges and golds and yellows and things. You okay there, Hannah? Nearly ready?
When you've got one less finger, you realise that some things you just normally do, you can't.
Yeah, you realise how much you rely on your fingers, don't you?
Yeah. I've been untying and retying my shoe rather than just shoving my feet in and I get into a routine of untying them. And I just walked near to untie my shoes and I realised,
oh dear.
oh no, I can't untie my shoes. Because if I untie my shoes, I can't tie them back up.
Well, there you go. Daphne says, I love the colours of this piece. And then she goes on to say, right there with you, Nicola, my mum has been gone for 8 years as of February the 8th. As I as well could wish that I could talk to my mum every day. Her passing makes my birthday harder because I was born on her birthday. Hugs to you. Thank you, Daphne. Yeah, I wish I could speak to my mum pretty much every day as well. And like I said in my video, I do get a little angry sometimes because she should be here. I mean, 64 was no age. She was 64. I don't know if I said that in the last video or if I said 62. My dad passed at 62. My mum was 64. And Linda comments again on a stitch with me and says, hi Nicola, I love the colours in Summer Sun. Your work is beautiful. Having dental work myself, ended up with an infection that causes sinus puncture and then nosebleeds. Dental work is no joke. Hope yours continues to progress well. So do I, and by the time you're watching this video, phase 2 will be done because that happens later today. And no cancellations, so that's good news. Karen Ennis leaves me some hearts. And then Shelley says, Nicola, such a sad story about your mum. When my mother-in-law passed, it really hit me at a funeral. I was crying and thinking I'm never going to see her again. But then it was like an angel spoke to me, telling me that every time I think of her, she's with me. And so it is. This has helped me a lot. Yep, she'll be an angel on your shoulder.
I can just get my hat on.
I'm sure you'll manage.
I hate this.
Are you off then, baby?
Yeah, no much point in hanging about.
No, I might as well get yourself off.
It'll take me longer to do half the things I normally do, so.
Yeah. Have you got Shelley with you today?
All being well.
Oh, that's all right.
She went in last week because she run well and then little lass run well. So
oh, fingers crossed she'll be there this week.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you later. Have a lovely day. Love you. Laura comments to say, hi Nicola, loving the colours in this one. Will love watching it grow. Me too. Looking forward to it. I'm particularly, I know this is kind of leaping ahead, but I'm particularly wanting to get to the blue here. And there is another little blue obelisk in the foreground at this right-hand side. This obviously isn't the full picture of it. So for Summer Sun, I'm just looking forward to, well, lots of elements of it really, but yeah. Carla says, hi Nicola, you said well the words in Portuguese. Thank you for the care and for sharing your story. Thank you, Carla. I am not the best at pronunciation, and, you know, I'd hate to think that, you know, my speech pattern would, what's the word I'm looking for? Would destroy the beauty of the language to somebody's expert ears. I definitely don't want to do that. Been thinking of my mum a lot lately too, says Joy Sorensen. I sure do miss her. Not something we ever get over, but she's in my heart and that's a blessing. I had to laugh. Orange isn't my favourite either, but I don't mind stitching it. These are really pretty shades, and this one is going to be lovely. It certainly is. Yeah, when I was picking these kits, I was always looking at the long term with them. Will I fall out of love with this kit? Will I love this image forever? You know, I always sort of had to make some really hard thought choices. Excuse me. Okay. Nancy says, what you are doing right now is just beautiful and so inspiring. I just want to grab a piece and start working. Thank you. I enjoy your show very much. Thank you for that, Nancy. I would really hope that if anybody does stumble across my video and sees what they're doing and they're not what I'm doing and they're not a stitcher, it might encourage them to pick up needle and thread and have a go. You know, it's a wonderful, relaxing hobby that takes the day away, really. Just lately, things at my work have been incredibly busy and stressful. And for me to be able to sit and stitch the evening away has been absolutely wonderful. It really, truly has. And a true blessing. Christina says, evening, Christina. I hope you had a wonderful evening and you enjoyed the video. My Sunday stream, Lauren came home from Paris just prior to the stream starting. She had a wonderful time, although she was a little upset because she'd bought a couple of things for her sisters and somehow she'd managed to lose them. So she was a little bit upset, and she said that, you know, she was talking about it a little bit. I'm so glad that Lauren had a good time in Paris, says Karen Ennis. I'm sorry she lost some things. I went to college for art. The Mona Lisa, which we were discussing in the stream, was painted on wood also, and it was stolen once. It goes into a safe at night now. I wish I could have seen it. Well, Lauren shimmied her way up to the front and got a lovely picture of the Mona Lisa for us. If I remember, I will get Andy, you know, to perhaps to put in a picture at the end. But yeah, she shared with me as well a beautiful picture of the Eiffel Tower all lit up, which was stunning. So if I do remember, I'll get Andy to pop those in at the end. But yeah, she had fun. She learned and saw, and you know, all the rest of it. Which is, what else can you get out of a trip to Paris? You know, you're in a beautiful city, and you know, you are with your friends and school colleagues, soaking it all up. And you know, lots of culture in Paris. And she saw some of the major landmarks and stuff, and it was great. Oh. Then our lovely Laura says, hi Nicola, I was happy I could join you for a short while. Loving the oranges and definitely will be watching this one develop. So currently on my live stream on Sunday, my new start has some extra stitches. So it's out. So this one, as you're watching this on Saturday, will be out on live stream on Sunday. Sophia Stitching Love on my Flosstube says, "Hi Nicola, congratulations, what an achievement. I missed your live this week, but I see you had a great stitching week. The finish is looking stunning." Thank you, Sophia, and please, to everybody, if you're not able to make a live, or if you're late into a live, absolutely fine. The lives are there on replay. So, don't worry if you're not able to make it in time or whatever. You can always catch up. They're all there. If you just click on my channel and my videos and then the live tab, you'll see all of the lives that I've ever done. 2 a week for well above a year now. And yeah, they're just a wonderful, they're a safe stitchy space, and they're a wonderful break up to the week on a Wednesday. It breaks the week in two, and a round off to the week on a Sunday. It helps us all wind down and can go into the new week all relaxed. On a Sunday stream, I never worry about work on Monday. Monique says, "Thank you for the tingling. Sorry I didn't make it live." So we do have we have a bell. If you have a finish, if you have a milestone reached, if something that you are really happy about, whether it's getting a 0 on a colour or what, we have a bell and we will celebrate those on the stream. So partial finishes of the HAED stitch along, so page finishes or finishing that part, they've been celebrated. Finishing the colour on a particular page, that's been celebrated. Getting to a certain percentage, that's been celebrated. Every stitchy milestone, no matter how small, we will celebrate on the live stream. So a tingling for myself because I've finished my model stitch. Okay, Crow Stitcher Andy caught the replay and loved it. Thank you, Andy. It's always nice to see you here because I know you don't do social media now. But yeah, very happy to see you watching the lives. And then Lesley Maud says, "Thank you, Nicola, for sharing that very personal story. This is, of course, on my Stitch With Me. I miss my lovely mum every day too. Enjoyed watching you stitch this piece. It just seemed to flow." Yeah, it did. This one is starting to flow too. I think I've made some really good new start choices. They do seem to be stitching up rather well. Joyce, this is my last comment because the next ones are all for my most recent Flosstube, which I'll cover off in next week's video. Joyce says, "I'm sorry about your postponed dental appointments. I really couldn't say what's worst. Something cancelled you were looking forward to, or something cancelled that you just want to get over with." Yeah. It's been quite, it was quite an emotional roller coaster when it happened, because you're quite right, Joyce. I want it over and done with, but in a strange sense as well, I am kind of looking forward to it because I know that the end result will absolutely be worth it. Oh dear, excuse me. I'm drinking coffee and things. I'm freezing cold. Absolutely freezing. It's been very cold weather here again. And we've had a few nights where it's dropped into the minuses recently. The trouble is I don't take much more fluid on board because guess what? Nicola needs a wee. I could pause and run upstairs, but it's a faff to then put everything back together. So, but we've only got 20 minutes. I'm sure I'll cross my legs, hold on for that long, it'll be fine. It's a testament to my bladder strength, we'll put it that way. And then after this video, it's day 3 at work this week. And I have some more training to deliver today. So, and I would imagine I've got a pretty busy day ahead. But, you know, we just take it on, we get it done. Yeah, it's what I get paid for, so I can't grumble really, can I? Yeah, there are so many people in a less fortunate position than me, people who don't have job. So I guess I shouldn't grumble about the job I have. I should just get on and do it, which is really what I do. I just crack on and get it done. This one's already stitching up quite nicely. This is going to be a nice piece. Quite enjoying it. I know lots of people were looking forward to seeing it being spun. You know, one or two of the comments that I have on my Flosstube were like, "Oh, I'm so glad it's cosmic marbles," or when it was spinning I was going, "Cosmic marbles, cosmic marbles, cosmic," and here it is. It's my second Aimee Stewart, and as happenstance would have it, my rotation stitching before this one was my Aimee Stewart stitching shelf. So currently my 2 Aimee Stewarts are side by side in the rotation. Of course, with another, I think 9 to put in to rotation, that could very well change. But you know, it's quite amusing that that currently they are beside each other. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. done quite a lot of stitches in this today. There are 350,000 stitches in this piece. It's a regular size, regular colours, so 90 colours, and it's 500 down by 700 across. Yes, we're in the right place. Just had a horrible thought then that normally my selve edge is on my left, but I remembered now when I cut the fabric yesterday, the selve edge is at the top. Yeah, 700 by 500, so 350,000 stitches. So it's slightly smaller than the bookshelf. There are 25,000 stitches difference between these two. Let's have a look at this colour. Oh, it's a single stitch. Let's get this ninja done. Yeah, so it's slightly smaller of the two Aimee Stewarts that I've got. And of course my stitching shelf is way further along. We are more than a quarter of the way through, I think. Let me just double check. Just let me check. 375,550 stitches in the stitching shelf, so 25,500 stitches more, and it is at 26%, so all good. Right, I think with these, I'm going to do these few stitches at the bottom here, and we're going to be creeping into this bottom block now, I think. This square is entirely done. This one is nearly. This thread and the next thread will finish off this square. I think the way I'm going to work this one is literally going to be square by square, but I'm going to try and use up the thread length where possible. So this is the next square that will be done, and then that one, and so on and so forth. I think that might be the way to do it, but you know, use up the thread lengths where I can, because it'll save me, you know, stopping and starting a thread if possible, and you know, having to put back on my floss cards, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm creeping into this square because I'm doing the stitches to complete the one above, and then just use up as much of the thread as I can. But with this one I won't be using all the thread because I think this colour stops during this square. Yeah, it does, but I can put in some on the top row, so I will use up the rest of this thread probably. So I might not finish that square today or on this video. But we're getting there. In other news as well, just to share as well, my sister who was in hospital last week, is still in hospital. She's having a couple of issues. She's got an infection somewhere, and she's got issues with her kidneys and fluid retention. So she's being looked after in hospital at the moment. Checking in with her. I messaged her last night and I said, look, I'm really sorry. I've been so busy with work. I haven't even had time for me. But I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. And she said she'd done a lot of sleeping, which is understandable if you're unwell. But yeah, she's in the best place. There's not an awful lot I can do. I'm a few hundred miles away, I'm afraid. She's up in Dumfries, and I am down in Yorkshire. She's up in Scotland. But yeah, we will see. Ooh, that sounds like a Lauren awake. It's half term this week, and Lauren has just come out of her room. And Andy obviously is at work. I wasn't quite expecting Lauren up this early. She normally isn't on half term, and she's still recovering really from Paris. But yeah, she's awake by the sounds of things. She was an absolute hero yesterday because obviously Hannah had this incident with a finger and she needed to go to hospital. And I was obviously busy with work, but if I'd have needed to, I would have had to drop and gone with her. But Lauren said that she would go with her. Even though Hannah is an adult, it's good for Hannah to have somebody with her. Because, you know, Hannah has really good comprehension, but just occasionally she might just need something explaining essentially in like a plain English term, if that makes sense. And that's just because of her autism and how she processes the information. So yeah, so she had a trip to hospital with Hannah, and it's good for them as well to spend the time together as sisters. It's like adjust my position. Oh dear, I'm definitely needing a wee. Not saying that too loudly, my bladder might hear me and spring a leak. We're within the last 10 minutes of this video anyway. Using up this thread. Untwist it. The thread's curling up. Oh dear, excuse me. Good morning.
Morning.
You're up early?
Up early.
Say again?
Woke up earlier today.
All right, okay. Where's your glasses? Yeah, you need your glasses, lovey. Yes, please. Okay. So that's Lauren down. She'll be off ferreting around in the kitchen looking for, I don't know, Pop-Tarts or bagels or something for a breakfast.
I could actually have a Russell's for breakfast, you know.
Say again?
I could actually have a Russell's for breakfast, you know.
You can have what you like for breakfast as long as you're responsible.
I know. I've got a double sausage one.
Ooh. What, you're going to have your left the fridge wide open?
Oh yeah, it's good.
Rather than sitting there twirling around on your chair. Good grief. Yes, I've rather enjoyed this stitch on this morning. It'll be fun to watch the marbles come out under the needle as well. I mean, obviously it doesn't look like much of anything at the minute because we're only, you know, we're less than 400 stitches in. But I'm pretty sure it'll start to look cracking the more I do. Come on. I talk to my stitching a lot. Especially to the little gaps and the holes in the weave. I talk to my needle, trying to find its way through. I need to pop in another line because I should be going into the next square. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Are you having your double sausage rustler for breakfast?
And a donut.
And a donut. Oh, you're hungry today then. I've only got a couple more minutes of doing this, okay? And then it's gangway to the loo because your mum needs wee.
What are you working on?
It is our new start. It is Cosmic Marbles.
Ooh.
And that just proves what I said earlier, that when the girls ask what I'm working on and they go, ooh. I did say that earlier on. Because somebody asked if you girls were stitchers. And I was talking about how you girls will quite often be interested in what I'm working on. And I said, and you come over and you'll look and you'll go, ooh.
Yeah. Because it looks good when you do it. But when I try and do it, it looks terrible.
Yeah, well, like I said, you know, we're going to teach you. Because I'm going to have some legacy whips. And you're going to be finishing them. Can we just be careful with that chair, please? It's a lot of racket. So we'll finish off this thread and then we're going to wind down this video. But just while I am getting towards the end here, I will just like to remind you all. There are 3 videos that will be coming up on your screen in a moment. If you've not seen those, please do go take a few minutes and have a look. And as ever, my Flosstube schedule is a Flosstube on a Tuesday with my weekly update. stitch with me on Thursdays and Saturdays, and a live stream on Wednesdays and Sundays at 7:30 p.m. UK time. So if you can join me for any of those, that would be much appreciated. I do want to start adding in at the end of each video as well, to be kind. I know that the vast majority of my viewers are, but be kind to other stitchers, be kind in the community, because the kindness that you give out will be returned back to you. There are no rules apart from the ones that you create for yourself, and you have every right to cease communication, shall we say, with anybody that upsets your stitching life, anybody who upsets or criticises you or whatever it may be. If you're not joined into my Simply a Stitcher and Friends Facebook group, please do so. You'll find a link below. You will find that that group is a wonderfully supportive place for new and experienced stitchers alike. You'll also, in the description box below, find details of all of my projects, as well as, if you feel so inclined and without obligation, my Buy Me a Coffee link. So I have done, no, that's wrong. I'll start that in a minute. I've done in this video 381 stitches, and I think I'm going to put that down as a good start. And you can just see now, as the light's hitting it there, the shades of green. So this piece will be out on my Sunday stream this week, and Wednesday's a focus for a finish, and my Sunday stream is my new start. So all I just want to say is thank you all very much indeed for watching. Do take care. Happy stitching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.